He's dreaming. They won it by 4 in the end.
American Anthem has taken off. American Anthem easily in the Woody Stevens.
Hi everybody and welcome to Spa Babies presented by WinStar Farm. I'm Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo, and Friday's Spa Baby event is the 5th. Let's take a look at the field. We're going 5.5 furlongs. This is a maiden special weight for New York bred 2-year-olds. Pretty intriguing race, and our sponsor WinStar Farm very well represented. 3 of their stallions have 2-year-olds in this race.
Yeah, definitely. Starting right off down toward the inside with Looking Ready, who's by there more than ready, a top 20 juvenile sire. He's been a great international stallion, but he sure can sire a winner on dirt. Dan, really interesting horse down toward the inside there, I think, in Looking Ready.
Looking Ready's dam did win on the turf. The dam's a half to Seeking the Dia, who was a grade 2 stakes winner in Japan. But the second dam was a really hard-hitting horse. The second dam was a multiple grade 1 stakes winner on turf in Japan and in France.
Yeah, Seeking the Pearl, just a terrific mare, both on the racetrack and in the breeding shed. This one might be another nice one from the family. Shows a couple of sharp works coming in here. Most recent work at Saratoga. This one I think actually might want a little bit more distance. What do you think?
Wouldn't be surprised if maybe the horse takes to the turf. Obviously, the More Than Ready is a WinStar stallion. Does very well on the turf. We mentioned the foreign influences in the pedigree, but Javier Castellano takes them out for the very capable Bruce Levine. You mentioned these workouts. Looking Ready looks like a strong contender. 5-2 on the morning line. The number 2 is 5-Star Bunt. 5-Star Bunt, a $40,000 yearling purchase by Posse, the sire of the very fast and talented sprinter Mind Your Biscuits.
Yeah, definitely a speed influence there on top. On the female family, also some speed influences, some precocity. This one's a half to Unbridled Express, who was 3rd in the Hopeful, and to another stakes placed juvenile and More of the Best. But further back, a little bit of turf ability in this family as well.
Second dam, a multiple stakes winner. And again, this horse has experience. It is a huge edge with 2-year-olds this time of year, especially when they're trained by Rudy Rodriguez. Here's our formulator fact for Rudy's runner, the 2, 5-Star Bunt. Over the past 3 years, with second-time starting 2-year-olds in New York-bred maiden special weight dirt sprints, he's 5 for 11 with a $2.58 return on investment. And that was a pretty live race. 5-Star Bunt exits. That winner, Morning Breeze, came back to be stakes placed.
Yeah, came back to run second in the Rockville Center against a decent group of New York breds, I think. There are some decent horses running on the circuit this year for the New York bred program, with horses that have been so strong in national level open company lately, including horses like Mind Your Biscuits.
Very logical contender. Breaking from the inside is the number 2, 5-Star Bunt at 4-1 on the morning line. The number 3, Rockin Jo by the WinStar stallion Paynter. And Paynter was a very courageous horse. A lot of folks are looking forward to his first crop of 2-year-olds this year.
Yeah, Paynter, when his first horses started coming up at the weanling sales, yearling sales, the thing that always caught my eye was it seemed like, looking at the bottom half of the pages, it seemed like he got a really strong first couple of books of mares, and that not just from WinStar and their clients, but from outside clients as well. And that to me indicates that the bloodstock industry has a high opinion of this horse, committed good mares to him, that somebody believes in this horse.
This one, Rockin Jo, a $25,000 buyback as a yearling, is out of a pretty fast runner. This dam was multiple stakes placed sprinting as a 2-year-old. She also won her career debut. There's also some class in this family. That dam's a half to Chocolate Ride, a graded stakes winner on the turf, a very hardy horse, and Killer Graces, who was grade 1 winner as a 2-year-old.
Yeah, definitely. Killer Grace is winning the Starlet, so definitely some juvenile type class in this pedigree.
Curious to see what sort of tote action the 3 Rockin Jo gets. Dominic Schettino, the trainer, does well with first-time starters. 8-1 on the line. Rajiv Mirage takes them out. The number 4 is Big Gemmy by WinStar stallion Gemologist, and Gemologist does very well with 2-year-old first-time starters, clicking at around 18% and a ton of class on the bottom.
Yeah, definitely. Gemologist, as you mentioned, came out firing with his first crop of 2-year-olds. That first crop last year included the Grade 1 winner Yellow Agate, a lot of class on the bottom. The second dam is Grade 1 winner November Snow. It's the family of several other Grade 1 winners, including Morning Line by Tis Now. So it's a cross that works.
$50,000 yearling purchase certainly in the right hands. Brett Calhoun, only about 1 for 23 at Saratoga over the past 5 years, but he just missed with Finley's Lucky Charm in a tremendously game performance earlier in the week in the honorable miss handicap. And Calhoun gets these horses ready to fire first time out, and we see a bullet workout at Churchill Downs, 5 furlongs and 59 and change. I'm expecting this number 4, Big Gemmy, to be pretty fast out of there.
Yeah, definitely. One of several speed horses in this race, I think. I think it's going to be a real kind of scramble of a race, as some of these 2-year-old events are.
The number 5, Valmont, should be a pretty strong price. He goes out for a low-profile trainer in Sarah O'Brien, but his stallion, Midshipman, does very, very well with first-time starters. 17% winners from starters with 2-year-old debut runners. Valmont, though, only a $1,200 buyback as a yearling and kind of turfy on the bottom of this family.
Well, I think actually turfy on both sides of the family. As you mentioned, Midshipman does well with first-time starters. That's sort of what you'd expect from a juvenile champion like Midshipman. One of his better runners, though, is actually the standout turf sprint mare, Lady Shipman, who just ran everywhere, was so tough. This one is out of an unraced Badge of Silver mare, who's a half-sister to a turf Grade 2 winner. I'd actually really love to see this horse on turf in the future.
Maybe turf and distance down the road. Perhaps we'll see a little bit of a late run, a good gallop out, and a good prep start for start number 2, perhaps on the turf. The number 6 is Sir Frost. Sir Frost is by Frost Giant, who does very well in New York with his 2-year-olds.
Yeah, definitely. Frost Giant, a couple of years ago, set the freshman sire earnings record for New York State, was last year's leading juvenile sire, and I mean, they come out running. This
Malibu Moon Dam was a talented runner. She won 10 times, earned more than $250,000, and this family has produced a really nice 2-year-old in Perfect Moon.
Yeah, definitely. Bred on the same cross as this mare by Malibu Moon, was a multiple graded winning juvenile out in California, I believe. And so definitely some juvenile ability on both sides of this page. I really like this page looking at this horse.
The number 7's Conforto. This is a colt by Simard, who sold for $15,000 earlier this year. This one breezed 2 furlongs and 21 and 3 at that sale, so perhaps quick. Simard still searching for his first debut winner. He is 0 for 11 with 2-year-old first-time starters. But this dam was a pretty fast one and precocious as well.
Yeah, a multiple stakes winner in Grade 3 placed as a juvenile. But I don't know, the fact that this one worked a quarter at the sale, usually they work a furlong, that indicates to me, you know, maybe sometimes you work a quarter if the horse is a little bit more mature and you want to show that off. Sometimes you work a quarter, you know, if you think the horse will show themselves better at that distance. And being by Simard out of a tribal rule mare, I'm wondering if this one wants to go a little bit farther as well.
We've had some wet weather in Saratoga over the last couple of days. This second dam excelled on the mud, a stakes winner routing over a wet track. She earned a 100 buyer speed figure on off-going. Maybe Conforto will inherit those traits if the track is wet. Let's take a look at the number 8. That's Perfect Expectation. This is a $20,000 weanling purchase that was bought back for $35,000 as a yearling. Majestic Perfection was a very good sprinter in his day for Steve Asmussen. He does well enough with 2-year-old first-time starters, and there is speed on the bottom of this pedigree.
Oh, yeah, there is. This is the first foal out of a half-sister to Grade 1 winner Black 17, who I think was very underrated, very fast horse. The mare is also a half to the dam of a juvenile stakes winner. A couple of horses on the outside of this field here with just speed on speed pedigree, sort of adding to the impression that this race is going to be a scramble.
Trainer Michael Maker already has a 2-year-old New York bred debut winner at Saratoga this meet. Alien Invasion won an off-the-turf event at 11-1 odds. Jose Ortiz takes them out. Perfect Expectation, certainly one to consider. 12-1 on the morning line. The number 9 is Aveenu Malcainu, and this one has always been very, very well regarded at the auctions. I mean, $125,000 buyback as a yearling, then sold for $150,000 in April, breezed a quarter and 21 and 4.
Yeah, definitely. And another nice quarter breeze there with some of the things that we talked about there. by leading juvenile sire Into Mischief out of a stakes-winning sprint mare by the very quick Trippy. It's another one of these pedigrees on the outside of the field that's speed on speed.
Very, very versatile dam here. You mentioned she was able to win going short on the dirt. She was a stakes winner on the turf as well. Jeremiah Engelhardt having a very, very nice year, winning with about a quarter of his overall starters. The number 10 looks like a bit of an outsider, and that's flat Out Jayvien, who did not do much running at 98-1 odds in his career debut. He's by flat out, and we have a feeling these flat outs are going to improve with maturity and a lot more distance.
Yeah, definitely. Flat Out, such a tough horse, but he definitely was better later in his career, going longer. He had an early winner in April at Keeneland in one of those 4.5 furlong maidens, which really surprised me. This is about the time of year as we got into Saratoga, Del Mar, and the distances started getting a bit longer that I expected to see them coming out. This one, the chart comment on the debut says resented kickback, and I'm wondering if the outside post here will help if they can avoid some of that, or hurt because you're worried about getting hung up wide around the turn.
Seems like a tall ask for flat Out Jayvien. Perhaps we'll get improvement second time out, but 30-1 on the morning line, a true outsider in this field. Where are you going? Which pedigrees really impressed you the most?
I mean, I think the horse I'm keying in on in this race is going to be 5-star Bunt down toward the inside. Comes out of what looks like a very nice maiden with Morning Breeze coming back to run well in Stakes Company. Plenty of speed and class in the pedigree. Eligible to improve off the debut when, got a bit of a troubled break there. Going to have to get away well from that inside post, but with a lot of speed in the race, if he can come out well and save some ground around that turn, I think this is a big player here. Very
logical contender again with that experience edge, and a square price on Travis Stone's morning line, 4-1 on 5-star Bunt. I'm going to take this race from a multiple race standpoint with the old Steve Chris ticket maker. 3 A's and 1 C. I'm going to take a look at the 1 Looking Ready, the 8 Perfect Expectation for the hot Michael Maker barn. And I really think this number 4 Big Gemmy is going to show a lot of speed for Brett Calhoun, and my 1 very deep backup in case something wacky happens. I love the midshipmans. And if you're going to play Valmont, I guess the one reason is midshipman. So that horse would be my C at something like 30-1 odds. But it's really a fun race, the 5th at Saratoga on Friday. Nicole and I will be back later this week with Saturday and Sunday Spa Babies presented by WinStar Farm.